What's up, guys? I'm Loomin with Iron Hype Entertainment, and I've got with me on a Skype call Skaden and JWebb.
Oh
What's up,
yeah.
guys?
And today we're going to be talking a little bit about some interesting things during the Hellfire Citadel raid, particularly in the Kilrogg fight.
There are going to be some spoilers for the Hellfire Citadel raid. If you'd rather not know things about, the fights, I just want to let you guys know that right offhand.
Okay, so to begin, let's go back to the Lords of War miniseries. In the Kilrogg video, we are shown a bit about the Bleeding Hollow clan and their customs. They have a ritual. Very shamanistic, very dark shamanistic kind of way. They go down into this cave, and what they do is they take out their eye in this ritual, and they put it like in the center of this big room, and they like talk to their ancestors and they cast this spell or whatever, and then when they do this, they see their death. They see how they're going to die and how their whole life goes out in front of them, basically. And with that, you see Kilrogg and how like he brings the horde up to this glorious point, but he gets killed in a big battle. So that's what happens in the Kilrogg Deadeye Lords of War.
Right. Okay, great. So, what I'm going to show you guys right now is a little bit of the part of the fight in the Kilrogg encounter where Kilrogg says,
"Gaze into my eyes and witness your doom."
So during the fight, he makes 3 circles on the ground. 3 random raid members go into these circles, and they actually are transported depending on which faction you are. If you're Horde, you go to the Royal Quarter in the Undercity, so Sylvanas' throne room, and if you are Alliance, you go to, I believe it's Stormwind Keep, where you have Khadgar, as you guys can see. And so here are some of the quotes, and I'm just going to play them for you guys real quick, what Khadgar says while you guys are in here.
It's good to see that you survived that last assault. But when the Burning Legion makes its final push, they'll wipe us out. It's been an honor to fight by your side all these years. But our strength was not enough to save Azeroth. Before we meet death, let's send a few hundred demons screaming back to the twisting nether. Give Sargeras my regards. Gather them together, champions. My magic will do the rest. For Azeroth!
You see Khadgar actually drops to 1 health, and so it's like he dies. The sound file is literally titled Khadgar Death. He uses his last will to explode and destroy as many demons as he can. It's kind of scary. It gives me chills to think about it.
Yeah.
It's kind of spoopy overall, a little bit scary.
But that does say that that's our vision of our death. That's when we die.
Now I know this is getting sort of a little bit into specifics that could be nitpicky, but so in the actual ritual, if you correct me if I'm wrong here, but they put their eye in this like goop. Is that correct?
Correct.
Some sort of like substance. Now, when Kilrogg uses that ability on us, Visions of Death, now is it necessarily, like, do we know that that's the same, like, it's obviously symbolic of the ritual, but like us standing in that, can we know for sure that that's the literal equivalent of us doing the same thing?
I guess another thing is that you have to think of is when Kilrogg was doing this, he was doing this in a shamanistic way, but it's still not demon magic that he's messing with.
That is also a good point. We don't actually gouge out our eyes. We don't follow throughout the whole Bleeding Hollow ritual, so it could be a false image.
He's throwing this ability on you with demon power. Is this something that like he's just kind of trying to throw you off, or what? Like, that's something you also got to think about.
Yeah, see now part of me thinks that like if he can conjure this thing that makes us see our death, what would like his point of that in the fight be other than perhaps to throw us off? Because at that point he could be saying, this is how you are going to die.
All right, but think about it. Like, why wouldn't he just give us a vision of himself killing us?
Absolutely, yeah. Why not do that?
Because that would have been even more demoralizing during the fight. If you're in a fight and the guy gives you a vision of him killing you, like that would be more demoralizing to me than seeing me die, like, a couple of years later against some demons.
maybe he's, sort of playing to the inevitability of it all, saying, you guys try as you might, this will be the end here.
That's a really
you're
good
going
point.
to see exactly what it is.
Yeah, this was a PTR quote from when they were first introducing the bosses of Hellfire Citadel. They said this about Kilrogg. Ever since the Lords of War shorts highlighted the gory ritual that lies at the heart of the Bleeding Hollow clan's traditions, we knew that visions of death would have to feature prominently in the encounter. It's unclear whether these visions are immutable, or whether knowing one's destiny gives one the power to alter it. ... Which is kind of the whole conversation we're having right now. Are we going to die for sure at the hands of the Burning Legion at the last stand of Azeroth? Or does knowing our own destiny give us the power to change it? The Burning Legion, they have a basically unlimited amount of soldiers, so it's almost inevitable that we'll fail against them, unless, of course, we've heard from some visions saying that there was going to be an army of the light, and it was going to be led by Anduin of Stormwind. Anduin he's a champion of the light, and the light is the only thing that I believe could stop the demons permanently.
When you come out of that vision, what do you have on your back? You've got wings. Paladin wings. Just to me,
That's interesting.
coming with the army of light, what could bring you back to life?
Okay, technically, we have died in lore before. King Menethil actually resurrects us in the Lich King fight.
Now that just dawned on me with the whole army of light, Anduin leading the army of light, defeating the Burning Legion, or was standing up against the Burning Legion. We don't actually know that we die in that scene. In that little phase of the raid, what we do know is that Khadgar dies, basically implodes, sends this massive arcane magic out, kills all the ads, and then we somehow get back up into the raid and have wings on our back. Who knows? We might sacrifice ourselves right then, and then somehow with the light, Anduin or somebody comes up and resurrects us.
Oh, so maybe that's kind of a bleed over effect that shows that we do get resurrected. That would be pretty cool. Okay guys, let's switch gears a little bit here. Why is our final stand against the Burning Legion, if you're a Horde player, in the Undercity? Why is it not in Orgrimmar? That's what's really interesting. So, okay, Stormwind and Tirisful very close together, relatively geographically. So does that mean Kalimdor is the first continent to fall?
I think it's a possibility. Devs have been saying for, to my knowledge, at least a year, probably more, that, or hinted at least, that there's something terrible, or something frightening, or something massive underneath Tirisful Glades. Now, especially you Horde players will know that Tirisful Glades is exactly where Undercity is. And Undercity is where Sylvanas' throne room is. And when we go into Kilrogg's Visions of Death, where are we transported? Bazinga, the throne room. Right smack bang over Tirisful Glades. So, it begs the question, could that be when we find out what exactly is lurking beneath the dark below Tirisful Glades? Could it have something to do with just the outpouring of these, hundreds of thousands of demons that eventually could be our end?
Right.
I think that, all of this is really evidence pointing toward, while we don't have really the specific answer, maybe, I think we can mostly agree that that whatever, however Azeroth falls, or the future of Azeroth, a big part of it is probably has to do with Undercity, or, Tirisful Glades. I mean, I wouldn't be completely shocked if there was, maybe even an update to the zone or update to the city in a future expansion, to sort of set the stage for that sort of lore importance. I think that it's going to be definitely cool to keep an eye out for.
Another future expansion idea is Wrath of the Forsaken or whatever, because Sylvanas is, doing her own thing. Who knows what she's up to? And maybe that actually ends up being the Forsaken is the last bastion of hope, as they can actually increase their numbers, much like the Scourge. Which would make sense, because that's why we're fighting in Undercity. That's the last stand. Who knows? And another theory that we could talk about a little bit is perhaps we die, but where we die is not where we think we die. There is an alternate Azeroth.
So you're saying inevitably we die, but maybe not on our Azeroth, on alternate Azeroth.
Correct. Maybe our Azeroth does fall, so maybe we have to save alternate Azeroth. All this time stuff they've introduced, it's really complicated. It's kind of a mess.
Yeah, see, that's the thing that I'm curious about, though, is like, they've kind of been a little messy with it. Are they really going to try to do more, or are they just going to stick with the normal storyline?
So who knows, maybe our deaths, it's an alternate future, it's a changeable future. Maybe it's moments before Anduin kicks in the door with the Army of Light. Maybe we do die. I don't know, just from a player's perspective, it'll be interesting to see how if they do kill us, do we get rezzed by the Army of Light? That would be kind of cool. They've done it before, And the thing we know about WoW that's pretty solid is that if you die, you can be rezzed. Another thing you also have to consider is that, the Bleeding Hollow clan, they kind of worship death in a way. They see it as inevitable. Kilrogg could have changed his fate at any time because he saw how he died, but death is so ingrained in their culture that they don't attempt to change their fate. They just accept it. So,
but can you really change it?
Well, that's the question. The Bleeding Hollow, they respect death, they worship it in a way. So of course they're not going to try to change it. So, it still stands to see. Oh, maybe we can change our fate. Maybe we can change what we saw. And now that we know that the demons are coming, we saw that from Wrathion as well, that Azeroth is in danger. Very soon, we're going to be better prepared to deal with this threat.
Alright guys, thanks for sticking around with us. I think we're going to call it a night, evening, morning, whatever you are right now, with this little lore info. And
if you guys have anything to add to this conversation, maybe a piece of lore that we may have missed, feel free to let us know in the comments below.
No matter who you are, no matter where you're at, this is Skaden, Loomin, and JWebb. Hoping you guys have a great day. We'll see you next time.
See you guys.
Peace.